See, that's what I'm saying. I just took a heavyweight shot officially from Gerry Cooney. I don't know anybody else who can claim that is still standing in this day and age. My friend.
Hey, we're here. Are you running? We're here at a great night, bro. This can be a very historic night for boxing. You know, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, Hearns. I mean, so many great fights that we've seen, and especially in this middleweight division, Hagler. And these two guys tonight make for fireworks.
Let me just, I know we're starting the thing, but you still got some pop on that punch. That body shot, I got hit 3. And I'm going to continue the interview. I'm going to continue. It's nothing. Look, you're right. These guys are going to be taking shots, much like the one you just hit me with. Well, again.
Big punches.
Who's the biggest puncher?
Well, I think, obviously, Gennady Golovkin is a middleweight, natural middleweight. He's been a big puncher his whole life. He hurt you. If you watched him in the Danny Jacobs fights, in the Lemieux fight, that left jab he's got is devastating. And he's bigger than Canelo. Canelo's a younger kid, tough kid, a lot of guts. You know, he always fights hard for, you know, himself and for the Mexican people. But when he takes some of them shots against a real true middleweight, how does he respond? And then vice versa. You know, Triple G's older, now he's 35. How does he take it with the pressure of Canelo's going to put on him, if that's what he chooses to do? And then does Canelo box him, or does Canelo come in and try and fight with him?
Is this a battle of smarts or heart at the end of the day?
I got to tell you something. The corners are going to be working hard. They're going to have to make adjustments. They're going to have to figure out which is most comfortable for who and how to fight. And it's going to have to change the whole night. But I believe that Triple G is going to be using that left jab all day long, and he's going to be looking for that body as Canelo does. So, I mean, I hope that they both stand in the center of the ring and they just punch it out for 12 rounds.
Radio Rahim with Gerry Cooney. I gotta. Let me tell you what, anybody who can take a shot from Gerry Cooney to the jaw and continue an interview is a boss. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. I'm taking that. That might become part of my name right here. Took shot from Gerry Cooney like it's a world title.
Oh, good.
We got to talk heavyweights.
Yeah, I love it.
That's your division. It's a heating up finally again. Like, I feel like we had a lull there with the Klitschko's. No matter how great champions they were, they weren't fan favorites here in the States. And now there's a global interest and excitement about the heavyweight division again. Talk to me about the division in your heyday in comparison to now, and how you feel like we got here. How did this division progress to the point where we are?
Well, I mean, we had tons of heavyweights. Went back in my day, everybody was fighting somebody great. You know, the Klitschko boys came in an era, I think, that Don King had raped and robbed the game so much that most of the guys that would have been heavyweights went to football, basketball, and baseball. Now they're trickling back. They're coming back. And listen, the biggest thing we saw was Emanuel Stewart was trying to get Klitschko to fight to fight, and not stay back. When he fought Joshua this last time, what a fight for Klitschko and Joshua. Now, if you remember in the fight with Joshua, Joshua hurt Klitschko, went after him, tired himself out, looked like he was finished. He took one round off, revived himself, and came back. That's a real true champion. The other guy we got that's a really great, who's fighting King Kong Ortiz sometime soon in Brooklyn, is Deontay Wilder. He was a great fighter. Unfortunately, he had his bicep ripped off. He's had a lot of trouble with his hands. He's been inactive. So I had him on the radio the other night. I told him, you know, I got to give a little more sway to Anthony Joshua because he's so busy and so active and young, and the momentum is going his way. And so that being said, I hope that stays in America with Deontay Wilder because I love that guy's personality and his fight. He wants to fight everybody. So anyway, and some of the other guys up there that are coming up in the division is great too. So we're going to see some great fights. We got Parker. We got a lot of different guys. Fury, if he comes back, who knows? But it's growing back to where it used to be.
When it comes to Wilder and Ortiz, how much of the Cuban culture as a fighter does Ortiz bring into the ring, and does that give him a significant edge against a guy who's not like he's not a lifetime fighter? He didn't grow up, you know, as a kid boxing, whereas that's the culture of Cuba, and that's how Ortiz came up.
Well, you know, Ortiz is a little bit older. A lot of guys that come out of Cuba, they do have to be older in age. He's a tremendous puncher, and he looks devastating if he hurts you. If he hurts Deontay Wilder, and you know, in Deontay Wilder's fight when he fought in the Garden, he fought the Polish kid. Polish kid hit him on the chin, shook him a little bit, if King Kong Ortiz hits him with one of those shots, he's going to finish him. But I still believe that Deontay Wilder is going to stand up. He's going to knock out King Kong Ortiz, and he's going to get a shot with Joshua in England or wherever he's going to take place with 100,000 people.
You called him Wilder by knockout. Wow. Okay. So Joshua, he's the golden boy of, I would say, boxing globally. Yeah, because even though he's just now starting to get real notoriety here, I've been over there many times. This guy is a superstar. He's got all the media pedigree and all those kind of attributes that you can't really buy. But in addition to that, he's a hard worker. How much of having that kind of pressure on you, being a celebrity, having all these endorsements, everyone expecting you to win, and you're like the guy already, does that figure into how much success you can have in the ring and how difficult it is to focus on your job?
Listen, he is having fun. He's the man. He's having fun. He's growing with these experiences. He's living life. He's making good money. He's taking care of his family, his friends. He's got good people around him. We've had him on the show a lot. He's a great athlete, as is Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder was the heavyweight champion of the world, is still the heavyweight champion of the world. And those two guys meeting head on is going to make for fireworks. And that's what we want to see in the fight game. As we've been seeing in the last couple of years, I talk with my partner all the time, we've been seeing nothing but great fights after great fights. It's exciting.
Wilder's a little unorthodox. Joshua, I would say, definitely has pedigree, but is coming along and knocking every single guy out that he's faced, which gives him confidence. But
both of them
maybe only in this last fight has he really been tested. He's gotten up off the canvas to win a fight against a big puncher.
He grew up a lot. He grew up a lot that night when he got off the canvas, revived himself, got back into his fight plan, and took Klitschko out. That was a very big accomplishment for him. Being so young in the heavyweight division, what he did that night was phenomenal.
Because of all of those things, especially what you just mentioned, I expect Joshua to be a favorite in that fight. What does Wilder do to pull the upset?
Well, Wilder's going to have to use his jab. He's going to have to use his power. He's a tremendous puncher. He's got mostly all knockouts. So he's going to have to find the opening. He's going to have to make adjustments, just like any good fight, like tomorrow, Saturday night. These guys are going to come out the first couple of rounds. It's so important. The corners are going to tell him how to adjust. And Deontay Wilder's going to have to do the same thing. So is Joshua. Because Joshua's not going to be able to take Deontay Wilder's right hand. He's not going to be able to take that, so he's got to be very careful. And that makes for a different fight.
Coming off an injury for an athlete is always a mental test as well, especially a boxer with a bicep, which is something you depend on so much. Yeah. He's a young fighter. He's had success up to this point, but it's such a severe injury to recover from, and then go head first in an Ortiz and then maybe Joshua after that. Those are no tune-up fights. Mentally, how do you, as an athlete and particularly as a fighter, trust yourself, trust your ability, get in there and be able to fight with the kind of, not recklessness, but take the kind of chances you have to take to win?
Well, you don't know Deontay Wilder that much. He's a very confident, exciting, uberant. He's so uberant with excitement, and he just wants to fight right now. So he's got a lot of character, a lot of confidence in his punching power and his ability, and he's growing too. So two guys are going to meet somewhere down the road, maybe a year and a half or so. Whenever they're going to meet, it's going to be a crazy ass fight.
You don't think injury at all is something that he's going to have to deal with? I'm not saying he can't overcome it, but I'm just asking how you think what's the process of overcoming it?
Deontay Wilder told me that his arm and his hand is stronger now. The doctors told him it's stronger now, and he's punching at full capacity. You got to trust what he says. I mean, he's not going to lie to me. That the doctor said it's going to be fine, and he said he's punching at full capacity, and he feels fine.
Who's the most exciting fighter right now? And what I mean is, who's the one guy that you always want to see fight above anybody else?
I mean, there's so many great guys. There's Errol Spence is a great, sensational fighter. I mean, Sean Porter, I always love to fight. The light heavyweights are crazy with Andre Ward, Kovalev, Beterbiev. I mean, it's filled up. The cruiserweights are great.
You have a favorite?
Listen, I tell you what, I'm a fight guy. I love good fights, and that's what we've been seeing these last bunch of years since De La Hoya and who's Arum and Joe DeGuardia and DeBella. All those guys are putting together the fights that we want to see, so I'm very excited about it.
Play fantasy matchup with me right now. Is there one fight, if you could make any fight in the entire sport, Gerry says do it and they do it, what fight would we see in the ring?
I'd want to see right now Errol Spence against anybody. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. Who's the new guy up there now? They got a new guy up there. I mean, it's just such the welterweights are so talented with deep in talent. Listen, I mean, I really mean it. I'm a fight guy. I follow the game closely. I have a lot of exciting fights in all the divisions.
You know, I really just got an answer to both questions out of you. The answer is Errol Spence. Radio Rahim with Gerry Cooney. It is a pleasure and honor and a lot of fun to talk to you, man. Oh, still standing. Still standing. Thanks, man.
Nice to see you, bro.